Now you've seen that not only is a high-fat diet not bad for you, it can actually be very good for you in many ways. Our third expert will explain in detail what the ketogenic diet is and provide helpful tips for those of you who will be trying and or recommending it. I call Shadi Moyeti to the stand.
All right, let's talk about the ketogenic diet, a little bit more about the research, and then also the application of this diet. So, briefly, what is the keto diet? Characterized by a reduction in carbohydrates, and instead of using glucose as the body's main fuel source, you're now using ketone bodies. And ketone bodies are produced through a process of ketogenesis, which happens mostly in the mitochondrial matrix of the liver, and it produces the ketone bodies there, and that is the acetoacetate, the beta hydroxybutyric acid, and the acetone. And this diet is compromised. You're eating mostly fats, so that's 70 to 85% fats, 10 to 30% proteins, 5 to 10% carbohydrates. This depends on the individual, their protein sensitivity, their carbohydrate sensitivity, if their blood sugar levels are compromised. So it's not a one-size-fits-all diet. And here on the right, you can see different pie graphs of the amount of fat, carbohydrates, and proteins that can fall into a ketogenic diet. So different percentages work differently for different people. So this was also mentioned earlier, but just briefly, the benefits of the keto diet. It is the best known treatment for epilepsy and seizure disorders. There have been cases where patients were able to go off their medications once they did transition to a keto diet. It can help with brain deficit issues, weight loss, cancer, specifically brain cancer, appetite control hormones. It's beneficial for mood. And in regards to cholesterol, studies have shown an increase in HDL and a lower blood triglyceride levels. And also an increase in the size of the LDL-C particles, which is connected to reduced cardiovascular disease risks. The smaller these particles are, the more likely they are to build fatty deposits inside artery walls. So that was also a benefit. Ketone bodies and brain cancer. I found that this work was incredibly interesting, and this book on the right is by a mother, Mariam Kalimian, who is actually also a nutritionist. Her son was diagnosed with a brain tumor when he was 4, and after different types of therapies, cancer therapies, none of them were working very well, and she stumbled upon an article on the keto diet, did her own research for a couple of weeks, and then implemented this diet for her son and had great success with it. So now she's, it's kind of become her life work, working with cancer patients, getting them on the ketogenic diet and supporting them in their health. And in this book, Thomas Seyfried, who is one of the pioneers of this research, wrote something interesting, and it reads, "It is now recognized that both glucose and glutamine and amino acid are the prime fuels that drive fermentation metabolism in most tumor cells. In addition to generating energy, these fuels are also the precursors for the synthesis of lipid, proteins, and nucleic acid, which pave the way for rapid tumor cell proliferation. It follows that the most logical therapeutic strategy for managing cancer centers on restricting glucose and glutamine. The low carbohydrate, high fat ketogenic diet is an alternative, non-toxic, metabolic strategy for targeting those tumor cells that depend on fermentable fuels for their growth and survival. Therapeutic ketosis starves tumor cells of glucose while elevating blood levels of ketones, a metabolic fuel that enhances the health of normal cells." So really interesting research, and a pretty interesting book that I look forward to reading in August. Blood levels in normal diets, the keto diet, and in diabetic ketoacidosis. I thought it was important to differentiate between the keto diet, ketogenesis, and ketoacidosis. So here I pulled this little graph from the research of Paoli, and it shows the blood levels of glucose, insulin, the ketone body concentrations, and the pH. So in the normal diet and in the ketogenic diet, you can see that the glucose is much lower in the keto diet, the insulin levels are lower, the ketone bodies are higher, and the pH of these two diets are the same. However, in diabetic ketoacidosis, you see ketone bodies that are over 25 millimoles per liter and pH and decreased pH. So in the ketogenic diet, you're not going over 8 ketone body, the concentration of ketone bodies is not going over 8 millimoles per liter. So that's a huge difference, 8 and 25. And also in a healthy ketogenic diet, your blood pH is also staying the same as a normal diet. All right, how to enter ketosis. It can take between a couple of days to a couple of weeks, depending on whether or not your blood sugar is compromised, if you have a protein sensitivity or carbohydrate sensitivity. It is recommended that you eat 80 to 85% fat, and this can include your leafy greens, which are important to eat. And it's important to get good amounts of salts. In the ketone diet, you are experiencing your insulin levels dropping and you're excreting more sodium. So it's important to get those good salts in, your pink Himalayan salt, your Celtic sea salt, and of course staying hydrated. It's important to get a good amount of sleep. Sleep, if you're lacking sleep, your stress hormones get all whacked out, which can also influence your blood sugar levels. And for individuals who want to kind of ease into this diet, Dr. David Jocker has a 6-week, what he calls a gentle keto adaptation program, where basically the first week you are starting to track your macromolecule intake, and the second week or after, a couple of days, you drop your carbohydrates in half, and you continue every week to drop your carbohydrate intake in half until you're reaching close to 20 grams per day. And again, that's different. Some people need less carbohydrates to be in ketosis. Some people can eat more carbohydrates and still be in ketosis. So a little sample Daylong meal plan. Breakfast, sauteed collard greens and coconut oil, scrambled eggs with grass-fed butter, avocado, 1/4 of a cup of berries. Lunch, you'd have a fish taco lettuce wrap with salmon, guacamole, red peppers, onions, and grass-fed cheese. You can have this as a snack or, aside to your lunch, some walnuts and olives. And for dinner, a coconut curry soup with a coconut milk base, some chicken broth in it, cauliflower, kale, garlic, coconut oil, and different herbs and spices. And I use this cool thing online called Chronometer, where you can put in the food that you eat every day. So I put in this day-long meal plan, and it showed that it consists of 80% fat, 11% protein, and 9% carbs. So that does fit in the keto diet. Really cool nutrition measurement tool. Some things to consider. It is not good to stay in this diet for more than 3 months at a time, unless you're epileptic. If you are epileptic, in order to reap the benefits of this diet for your condition, you do need to be in it consistently. On this diet, there are also reports of constipation, and that is usually due to the fact that the individual is not getting enough fiber. It's important to eat your leafy greens with this one. And constipation could also be connected to the fact that prolonged keto diet suppresses the conversion of T4 hormone into T3 hormone. So this diet is a great diet, prescriptive diet for a condition. It is not necessarily wonderful for a prolonged lifestyle choice. And in order for this diet to be beneficial for cancer patients, it's important that they're getting very little fat from animals. I mean, they can still have their animal fat, but not in excess. And there is some debate regarding whether or not the brain prefers glucose or ketones. If both are present in the body, central nervous system, brain chooses glucose, but people are arguing now that the ketone bodies are actually preferred. So a great diet for different conditions, not one to stay on all the time. And here's some references.
Thank you, Shadi. If you are still not convinced of the benefits of fats, you will be after hearing from our final witness. This surprise celebrity witness has written a song extolling the virtues of fats, and we know that you will be convinced after you hear the undeniable world-class talent and lyrical genius of our fourth and final witness.
Guys, healthy fats, remember that, just in case you ever want to lose weight and be all that. The title held by me, omega-3. Used to think I was bad, I might not be. So don't think we here to put the fat on. Fat fuels, once you get the carbs gone, build your membrane, stop the seizures, guard against inflammatory procedures. See, you don't want no sugary grains, we straight feed the brain, no games and no insulin. After the hook, I'ma tell the facts, cause you might not know where the healthy fats is at.
In case you didn't notice, here come the healthy fats to put you in ketosis.
Come on now, from the darkest and the leafiest greens come the vitamins and the phytonutrient team. Protein's cool, but let me school you, fool. So here's a tool, fat helps keep your fuel up with the ketones. Ask the blue zones, avocados, eat a lot of those. Oils, nuts, and seeds, you need a lot of these. We're omega-3s, can I please? Get my 9s and a couple 6s, nah I mean. My salmon and my chia getting skinny on ya. We're your first, last, and only line of defense against the worst spike in your insulin. No Doritos, Cheetos, you can eat a lot of greens though. You're free to that keto. Omega-3s leading all the macros.
Who's the hero?
Healthy fats.
The healthy fats. The healthy fats.
I'ma show you how it's done. Here we go. Let me see you just fast with me, just fast with me, just fast with me. Come on, let me see you eat fats with me, just fats with me, just fats. Come on, let me see you take a walk with me, just walk with me, just walk with me. Come on and make your legs work.
Here come the healthy fats. In case you didn't notice, here come the healthy fats to put you in ketosis.
Alright, check it. Let me tell you this in closing. I know we might sound imposing, but trust me, if you ever get in ketosis, believe me, you want the world to know this. Cause we do things that your carbs can't do, and we work better than your proteins too. So go with your life, forget that sugar crap, give love to the fats too. Cause that's omegas, that's omegas, that's omegas.
Healthy fats. In case you didn't notice, here come the healthy fats to put you in ketosis.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me see you get your hemp on, your flax on. Let me see you get your coconut on, your EPA, DHA, 85% fat strong. Chia.